My research focuses on codes of ethics, and I wanted to look at codes of ethics in the workplace and how we can determine whether they'll be effective or not. So it makes sense to say, I agree with this part of the code, so I almost always follow it. It also makes sense to think that if someone disagrees with a part of a code, they won't follow it. I'm a philosophy major and an entrepreneurial management major, so I wanted to, for my honors thesis, kind of combine both of them. And where we see philosophy coming in a business setting is through the codes of ethics and kind of trying to influence behavior of the professionals in the workplace. To really get down and see if people actually will make certain choices based on their agreement or disagreement, we had to have some kind of controlled experiment. We used the social behavior labs in Anderson Hall, which isn't too far from Carlson, and I think I had 28 or so people per hour running kind of in this controlled experiment in which they would be given a code of ethics and they have to answer questions about it, make decisions, and this would all be proctored by a computer kind of simulation that I was able to set up using resources from Carlson as well called Qualtrics. I was happy to know that my major hypotheses, which is, agreement does matter or disagreement can be very destructive, was true. Because if you look at the people who agreed with codes and what kind of actions they took when they did agree with the code, in the experiment anyway, we found that 97% of the time they're following the code. So agreement seems to be highly correlated with code adherence. But when we look at people who disagree with the code and what actions they ended up taking, we found that people would follow the code half as often or less than half the time, and in some cases never, which demonstrates that disagreement can be very destructive if you're trying to promote code adherence in your organization.